Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to another episode of the First Stars podcast, third season. All my loyal listeners, thank you for your continued support. This is a very special episode because Francois Chau boards the mothership to discuss Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, come on board as we go traversing the stars.
Hello, sir. Thank you for coming back to the Traversing Stars podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me again.
It's totally my pleasure. It was a lot of fun the first time, and I got to meet you at Trificon too for and got an autograph. So that was fantastic for me. Thank you so much. So you've had a very prolific career in film and television. What do you think has been the key to your success?
Geez, I guess maybe I just hung around long enough. I've been, I've been, I've been doing this for like a few decades now. So yeah, and maybe that's it. I just got lucky when I started, and then yeah, I just hung around long enough, and then got some work, and people got to know me, and went on from there.
So you've played some villains that we know as Shredder. You played heroes. Have you avoided the typecasting?
I don't. I try not to avoid the typecast. A lot of actors go, "Oh, I don't want to be typecast as this or that." I'm all for it. If it's like playing the villain. It's probably kind of been my wheelhouse. And um, when you get typecast, you get work, so it's okay with me.
That's awesome. Like that, because as you said, a lot of actors do spend a lot of time thinking about that. But
Mhm.
you're a very good point. If you do something really, really well, one thing really, really well, that is a job always open for you to do that thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not. I don't. This is going to sound kind of egotistical, but I don't really think I have to kind of prove myself to go, oh, I can do this part or that part, or I can do
Mm.
different parts. Like I said, I've been at this long enough to know what I'm capable of, and what I've learned. So um, the different parts will come. I'm not worried about
Mm.
making it the variety of my roles.
Mm. Well, recently you've played the Great Sage in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it was a fantastic series, and you were great in. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, how did you get involved in the series?
Well, I auditioned when they first started, and I auditioned for another role, and I didn't get that. But they said, "Oh, just I think as we go along here, we're going to find something for you." And sure enough, I think a few months in the shooting, they called and said, "Hey, we got this other thing. Do you want to do it?" And I said, "Well, is that a trick question?" Of course.
Now, obviously, Avatar: The Last Airbender is based on a very, very well received cartoon.
Mhm.
Were you aware of the cartoon prior to being in the series, the live action series?
I was aware of the cartoon. I had started watching a couple of episodes, um, and as with everything else, I think once the live version came out, the cartoon has a big, very big fan base,
Yes, it
very
does.
passionate fan base, I should say. So I think I was reading some of the comments and this and that, and of course everybody's going, "Oh, they didn't do this, or what happened to this part, or they didn't, this wasn't right, and this was better, blah blah blah." It's like, well, it's if I had watched a cartoon and tried to, of course, I didn't try to, you know, duplicate it, but the cartoon, I think, is I thought, oh, this is like more for kids.
Mm.
And the live action one, even though it is, kid friendly, it's a little deeper, I think. Yeah.
I find it kind of interesting that fans were trying to compare the two
Mhm.
when, other than, beyond the concept, animation is really hard to translate to live action, especially
Right.
and when that was more anime style, because you did have some of the more extreme, animation things of people
Mhm.
actions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was there ever a thought to you that people that you had to adhere, or did you make a decision immediately? I will do what I think is right to the character, not what the animation had the character behave.
Yeah, no one, the director, the producers, no one said, oh, trying to keep it as close to the cartoon as possible. So yeah, no, we were all free to do with the character, as we wish. Of course, within the bounds of the story. You can't just go, go completely crazy and start going into like a Russian accent or something, right?
I like that you said you were looking at like comments, like looking at like Reddit or Facebook. Is there a danger ever of doing that, or do you or is it like something that you're generally curious about?
I'm not really curious about it. Once I'm in a project and it drops or it opens, it's always interesting to see what people the comments people come up with. With the internet and social media these days, everybody and yeah, can put a comment in there, and it's like, oh, okay. It's funny because you hear this a lot about when they adapt some book into a TV show or movie, right? And everybody's going, "Oh, wait a minute! In the book, it's this and that." Well, when you read the book, you have in your mind, what the character is, or what she should be, or she should be, or how it is, and everybody's different, so everybody has a different idea. And then you watch the movie, and of course, everybody's going to go, "Wait a minute, that's not what I had in mind. That's
Right.
not what I." So you can't. It's funny. It goes back to when I was doing Lost, and people were asking me questions, and then at the end of the series, you had people who really loved it, people really hated the ending, this and that, and it's just everybody has their own different ideas of what it should be or what they like about it. So the same with the Avatar.
When you're looking at the comments, was that tempting to type in? I don't know. That guy who played the Great Sage was really awesome in the role, I thought.
Well, who's that guy that played the
Right.
great sage? Man, where would they find him? No, you know what? I'm one of the I think, okay, what do they call these guys who I'm on, like I have Twitter and I have like Facebook,
Yeah.
but I'm just I get addicted to just scrolling and
Oh,
watching
the
stuff.
lurkers. They call them
Yes,
lurkers.
that's it. The lurker. I'm a lurker. I never post. I rarely post anything. So uh, I'm there, but no, I never comment.
That is awesome. You do wonder how many people would comment what they comment if they knew the person or
Right.
something they're talking about where it was actually scrolling through the comments.
Yeah, yeah. It's a chance for everybody to put in their 2 cents, and so it's good and bad.
But like I said, I mean, I thought they did a great job with Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action. I mean, I love the cartoon, but I thought the live
Mhm.
action they did. I think they did a wonderful job. I think they did, especially did a great job on something that I think was incredibly difficult to translate to live action. I think they
Yeah,
nailed it. I think I nailed it at least as well as anyone was going to be able to nail it.
I think it's a little. It took. I was watching the first few episodes, and it took for me a little bit of time to get used to how things were
Mm,
being done, because uh, people are so enamored with the cartoon,
mm,
and of course with the cartoon, the facial expressions, everything is big, and I kind of thought, oh, in this scene, I think they may have tried to kind of make it like the cartoon, and then this other scene, it's not like the cartoon,
mm.
so it has its traps. You can't really go all out, and be because it's the camera's right there. It has to be truthful. You cannot go all out and be like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that if they try to do in the live action what was done in the animation,
Mhm.
all the humans would have looked absolutely foolish. Trust
Yeah,
me.
it was like you go, what they nobody acts like that. Wait a minute.
And once again, and I'm very interested. Like I said, you played the Great Sage, in which is a prominent advisor to Fire Lord Oze.
Mhm.
Um, so what were you told about the character? And because, like I said, you're in the last episode, the last couple of episodes. What maybe was there behind the scenes that you were told about the character, or what, or were there scenes you shot as well that weren't in the series that help add to your understanding of the character?
Um, let's see. As I said before, I wasn't really told anything about you know. I think kind of a good sign, I guess, that they left it up to me to just here, do do it. Uh, But yeah, like I had watched the scenes from the cartoon, and what we did in live action was it's kind of pretty much matched what the cartoon was. Um, the scenes with Daniel Day Kim as the Fire Lord at the with the cliffhanger thing at the end. I don't know if that's in the cartoon, um, but everything that I shot, I think, ended up in the series. So there was nothing left on the cutting room floor as far as I can remember.
Now the Great Sage, if memory serves, is part of the Fire Nation, but he's also
Mhm.
supposed to be a firebender. Was
Right.
there any discussion of potentially having you actually do some firebending in the show?
Well, before we shot the scene where I did one, where I threw a fireball at the kid. Before that, though, I spent like a few hours with the stunt guys uh, as he was showing me what they were doing in terms of the movements for, uh, and it's all pretty much Chinese kung fu wushu movements
Mm.
um, that they incorporated into the. And as you see the other fight scenes, it's pretty much it's just basically martial arts, and you add in the special effects with the fire stuff. So yeah, I spent a few hours going through the movements and making sure I was doing kind of close to what they were looking for.
Now, the interesting thing about the Great Sage is that he's loyal to Oze.
Mhm.
In your opinion of the character, was his loyalties in the right spot? Should he have been more loyal to the Avatar itself versus Oze, or is it Fire Nation community, society? That's what I am. That's my where my loyalty should be.
Yeah, it feels like his loyalty is to the Fire Nation. I'm not particularly, if Fire Lord was a different person, different personality, he would still be loyal. I think it's more to the Fire Nation itself, and you play these parts, and you sometimes because I didn't know the part was what it was supposed to be. Sometimes I start something and then they don't tell you anything. And then, later on when I've shot some stuff and they go, oh, and then I go, wait a minute, this guy's kind of a bad guy, or wait a minute, this guy's okay. But by that time you kind of go, oh, I guess I'm stuck on this path. I really can't deviate because it's already been set. Uh, so yeah, and the great sage is it's a great character, but it's a pretty minor character in the whole
Hmm.
Avatar universe. So um, basically, they pay me, I go, I do what
That's the
I
important part.
do. Yeah, I do what I'm told, I do to the best I can, unless it's really, it doesn't make sense to me or anything. But yeah, basically that's it.
So, having known about the character towards the end, if you knew as much about him at the end of the story as you at the end of the story as you did at the end,
Mhm.
how would you approach him maybe differently, knowing how the character was going to end be in the final episode of the first season?
Yeah. It starts out when Aang goes to the temple, and he goes, oh my God, I'm going to meet the great sage. You don't know if he's going to be this sort of magnanimous guy who's like, hey, the Avatar, my God,
Yeah.
we've been waiting for you, or what he ended up doing is, hey, here's a fireball, get him. So
So, as a member of the Fire Nation, he's obviously concerned with Aang, who is potentially extremely powerful. I mean, the
mhm,
first until the end of the first season, you don't really know. You don't quite get how powerful Aang could be, but at
right,
the end, you definitely know.
right,
And while as a viewer and someone who knows the cartoons, Aang is basically a good kid. He's a
mhm,
good kid, good heart. He's going to do things that are right. If you're the great sage, you don't know that. All you know
right,
is this person walking around who does not like the Fire Nation all that much, and it's incredibly.
right.
Was he correct, you think, to be afraid of Aang?
I think so because, like I say, it seems like his allegiance is to the Fire Nation. Uh, no matter who the avatar is. Because as you can see from the story, there's been previous avatars, and we're not really sure of how they. I mean, they were all powerful too, but we're not really sure if some of them were like good guys and some of them were not so good and so forth, right? So I think uh, Aang being a little kid, it gives a little more. You give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he's just a sweet little kid. He's not gonna, not gonna turn weird or evil, as far as we know.
I'm a junior high teacher, and I will say maybe more.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's interesting. Like, and do you think the concern is specifically toppling the Fire Nation with Aang, or do you think a concern that anything should be that powerful that's on the planet?
Well, yeah, like I say, you don't. I don't know if we realize we see he's very powerful. Well, we don't realize yet, I think, how much more powerful he will become, as opposed, when we have had other avatars before him, and it didn't seem like, except for that, which avatar, not Roku, but that great scene with the woman avatar.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. We're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah, that was actually extraordinary. I remember my wife was like, "Yeah."
yeah. I was like, yeah, bring him back. Uh, so some are of course very powerful, but I think some it's not everybody doesn't have the same level of power where you go, oh, we gotta be afraid. We don't know yet, I think. We don't, at least in the first season, we don't know yet how how much more powerful he's gonna grow up to be.
Now, as you said, now, like so, one of your scenes that you played is with Daniel Day Kim, who's
Mhm.
a phenomenal actor. What was it like to work with him?
Oh, he's a great guy. He's uh I wish I had more. It's funny. I had the scene with Ken Leung, who plays General Admiral Zhao,
Hmm.
right? So we took a picture, and one of the very rare few times that I post things, I posted a picture of us in as the great sage and Admiral Zhao, and I said, "Hey, father and son reunion," right? Because he played my son in Lost, so I got like a lot of like, uh, uh, oh, you know, reposts or likes or whatever it is they do. Uh, so yeah, it was fun working with Daniel. Hopefully, they got season 2 and 3. I don't know what's going to happen with the characters, but maybe we'll get in there, maybe 1 or 2 episodes more.
Has there been any conversation of you returning? Like, how they kind
No,
of
I haven't heard anything. I don't know. I don't even know when they're going to start production or
when when a season does end or the last shot is made, is there a discussion like did anyone go like, hey, just let you know if you are doing this, you're gonna hear from us, or was it's just like have a good thank you for your work, have a good day?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much thank you because really nobody, unless they've already, you know, said we've been renewed, nobody knows what's going on. The business is you never know. Sure things are not, you know, I'm not is not 100% sure of anything.
And it is Netflix who cancel things for no apparent reason.
Well, I mean, they do. So I guess 2 and 3 seasons, that's it, right? And
Yeah.
Netflix is notorious for, I don't know, I can't think of a show that's gone more than 3 seasons.
Stranger Things is the one I can think of.
Yes, because of course it's making them a ton of money. But all these other shows, you think, man, they put a lot of money into this, but whatever the accounting is, it must be that it's not worth it to keep going, kind of
Mm.
thing.
But well, yeah, I, I I mean, we know for a fact though Avatar is getting a second season. So
Mhm,
so hopefully you're invited back on because I think the Great Stage has so much more potential
mhm.
for a character just because he does seem like a character that he just knows, what I'm saying? He knows the things about fire and he knows in firebending that it'd
Right.
be interesting to see where he goes with the wisdom he has and the
Mhm.
mentorship he has with Jose. I think there's a lot to dive into with him. I mean, nice if
Yeah.
they gave the character time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's like I say, hopefully we'll get in an episode two there. I mean, but you know, the show is the kids, so it's you know, the main characters are the kids, so the storyline is, it depends on where they go with them, you
So
know.
one thing also I read about Avatar, and I spoke to a few people from the show as well, is that the sets were these massive, incredible sets. What was it like being there and getting in that costume and stuff? How easy was it to fall into the role given that whole environment around you?
The makeup and the costume really helps you uh you know, get into it. The set is they it's what do they call it, the volume, right? They shoot this in this I think they said they were the first ones to do it was Mandalorian, where we're in a we're in the stage, but it's a 360 like a 360 screen almost, right?
Wow.
And they project the background onto it. And then, of course, on the set itself, there's you know, some real furniture and props and whatever we have to handle. But the background is, you know, I walked in there and they said, we're, oh man, we're in the temple. It looks great. And then in the thing there, there's a doorway that looks to the outside, way, you know, into the hills and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's a great, you know, I wonder how they, great, but is it a projection or is it a, I really actually thought it was an opening.
Oh, wow.
And then there was a, you know, a screen behind it. So I walk up to it and I'm like, oh, there's like a little moat all around the area. It's just a screen, but it's really the technology, the advancement in technology, just in the last few years has been incredible. And I'm sure in the next couple of years it's going to be more. It's you know, we're getting into the bet you we're going to start getting into the VR stuff where you're in the movie as opposed to,
Hmm.
you know, watching and stuff like that. I think
You,
that's not too far away.
so you mean something like the Ready Player One? Ever see you saw
Right.
Ready Player One where you're basically you see people like at home and they're doing all the moves and everything as they're
Yeah,
into
yeah,
the screen.
yeah,
Millions of
yeah,
people fire bending in their home.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
But I was thinking though, thank God they put a moat there because you might have just kept on walking like right into
I would
the
have said, oh, wait a minute. Ooh.
thing.
And then it's you know, they can just change the background to whatever, change it to another part of the temple, and it doesn't take, it's not the old style where it takes, you know, hours to light and change and this and that. It's all pretty much set up there.
And like I said, and the costuming was fantastic. I mean, it must have been really easy to fall into character when you're dressed as the Gray Sage.
Yeah, no, it was very helpful, you know. Um, and the makeup was that they did was pretty awesome. You know, you get transformed.
Did you feel wiser when you dressed up?
I felt older. I don't know about why.
And the cool thing about so Avatar: The Last Airbender, in many ways, I feel like has hit that kind of upper echelon of fiction, sort of like the
Mhm.
Star Wars, Star Trek. I mean, it's at that level where there's that fan base is that dedicated.
Yeah, oh yeah,
What
yeah.
has it like why do you think that show has reached that level of fandom?
Well, obviously from the cartoon, the animated series, um, you know, like I say, the comments that I see and all this and that, and the people I talk to, they, it's one of those things where, you know, if you're a fan of it, you're not just a fan, you're like the ultra. This is, you know, it's like the Star Wars or the Star Trek and all those guys, those fans. It's, you
Hmm.
know, this is it for them. So yeah, they had a, it was, that was the one thing that you go, oh, kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because you go, oh man, there's a great fan base already, so the show is going to be, people are going to watch it, but at the same time, of course, they're going to go, wait a minute, you know, in the cartoon, this was like that, this was that, and these
Well,
characters are like this. And,
I think that's one thing that seems to be true about all fan bases, like Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
They are the hardest core fans, but they're
Right.
also the first ones to turn
Yeah.
if there's a
Yeah. Yeah.
problem. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, because the one thing that's common to all of them is they're very, very passionate about uh, the stuff, right?
Hmm.
So it's a um, yeah, it is like I say, the double-edged sword of man. You try to please these two people, and these other three people over here are going to go, wait a minute, that's awful, that's not right. This group over here is going to go, oh man, that was the greatest, that's so good. And
So, so when you're going to these conventions, like when I saw you in Terrificon, I got a
Mhm,
cool autograph of you as Shredder.
mhm.
That's my autograph. It's on my wall. It's on my autograph wall of fame, right there. When you're going to conventions now, are you getting more avatar requests?
No, I went to a convention a couple months ago, yeah, a couple months ago. It was still Ninja Turtles, but I had made up a couple of pictures of the Great Sage, and there was a couple of people you know, who were Avatar fans who came by and got some signed autos. But I think yeah, it's weird. It's not it's big, but it's not big enough, I think, for the general public. I think we have to go to a convention that's that has the other characters maybe, and it's more specific to Avatar, where everybody goes there for that reason. Right now, it's like I get a lot of the fans walk by the table and I say hi, and they walk by and they look at the different stuff I've done, and they always do that double take of, oh, holy shit, wait a minute, you're in that, you're that guy, or whoa, I didn't know that. Oh man, you're in that. So right now, I think Avatar is one of those.
Well, like I said, I remember our last interview, and you were talking about the fact that the fans always have you repeat some of the lines from Secret of the Ooze.
Mhm.
I remember
Yes,
that was
yes,
very cool.
yes. Yeah, they know more about it. I'm like, oh, okay, give me a hint. What do you want me to say?
Now I read something. Now I don't know if it's true or not true, but if it is, I'm going to grill you on it just a little bit in a
All
friendly
right.
way. I read that you are going to appear in the upcoming series, The Penguin, which is based on the Batman movie. Is that a true thing?
Yes, yes. I understand it's going to drop in the fall. Yeah, I guess it's sort of the origin story for the Penguin, the backstory. You watch the Batman, he's there, but you don't, he's not yet the Penguin, I guess, is the whole thing.
Now,
So
have you already shot your part?
yeah, we've wrapped. I started shooting uh last year actually, and then the strike happened,
Mm.
the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA strike. So around 7 months, we were like, oh, okay. And then the strike is finished, and then we went back, and I finished shooting it. Yeah, last month, I think.
So so I looked it up on IMDb Pro,
Mhm.
trying to figure out which character you were. It says I think it says actor for now.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the character you play in The Penguin?
Well, I'd say it is again right in my wheelhouse. Uh,
You're quite the
so
wheelhouse, though.
um, the you know he the I don't know if I'm supposed to give this away, but the Penguin is trying to get all the different criminal groups in Gotham City, you know, together.
Mm.
So there's a bunch of us. There's like the Irish mob, the Italian mob, and I'm of course the head of the Tong. So, uh, so yeah, it's like a gathering of the
Now, so you're definitely playing a villainous character.
mm,
Um, Without giving too much away, comparatively, is he villainous compared to the Penguin?
yeah. I mean, it's like whenever people ask when I play villains, what is it like? What do you do, or it's how evil is he or whatever? And I always say, well, we never think that we're the villain. We never think that we're evil. We're just
Mhm.
doing what we want to do for ourselves, or what we think is, we should be doing. Just happens to be, kind of bad. So I think, the Penguin, because I think it's going to be a really good series, because it's not just, oh, I'm the evil Penguin and I'm going to, destroy Gotham kind of thing. It's his whole backstory of him as a young kid, and how he's gotten to where he is now and so forth. So um, yeah, I mean, uh, is he evil? I mean, I don't, not necessarily. Sometimes he is, and sometimes he's not. So we're like, hey, this is our business. We got to do this kind of
Mm.
thing. So
Now, can you say how many episodes you appear in?
yeah, I've done this. It's 8 episodes in the series, and I'm in, I think, 4.
Four of them.
Yeah.
What else can you tell us about the character? Are there, you said he's head of a crime family.
Yeah.
Do you get, how active is he? Is he like because some of these like gang movies, the leader doesn't really get involved in things. He's in the
Right.
back a little bit. Or are
Right.
you kind of like more upfront, like Penguin would be in his little world of villainy, or are your character more like, sort of like Goodfellas, where I can't remember the name of the guy who he's kind of like just kind of stays in the background. People, they give him the money. He kind of is in
Right.
charge.
Right. Right.
He doesn't
Right.
really get involved in the actual day to day.
Let's say, if we're going to go Goodfellas or Godfather, I would say, you know, I'm the head of one of the other families. So, and the scenes are not, it's like, oh, it's the Tong, and it's not like, uh, uh, 15 guys all going around all the time. It's pretty much the head and my second in command, and it's the same goes for the other crime families. The head of the crime family and their second in command is what
What's this feeling toward? No, you said this pre-Batman or Batman is around now? The point of this story.
I understand, and don't, this is not, canon here, but I've heard the rumor that this is kind of a bridge for between the first Batman movie and then the sequel that they're going to shoot, later on.
Now, will the viewers have any reference to how your character views the existence of Batman? I mean, does he think Batman's the bigger danger or Penguin's the bigger danger?
You know, I don't know, because once again, every show I do now is cloaked in secrecy, and I'm probably telling you more now than I should. I'm gonna get a phone call pretty soon, but uh, I don't know, because I haven't read. I've read most of the scripts, but of course, it's the old actor joke of going through your script, right? You go, oh, my line, bullshit, 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 my line, bullshit, bullshit. So I've read my lines.
So when is it supposed to air? Reach television?
I think it's supposed to. They showed a preview, so I guess it's going to drop in the fall sometimes. What is it? It's Max, HBO Max.
Hmm. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it because the Batman was a fascinating film. I don't know if it was my
Yeah,
favorite Batman movie, but it's definitely the most interesting and how they're
yeah.
approaching it.
I liked it. I liked that it was more of a, you know, it's more. I mean, there were some great fight scenes, but he was more of like a detective
Yeah.
looking through kind of, because there was a series uh where, the Batman, before Frank Miller's Dark Knight, the Batman was like, there was a whole bunch of series where he was called was it
Oh, the Dark Knight Detective.
Dark Knight Detective, or this is, yeah. So yeah, this is more in line with that, I think.
And I think I also like doing a lot with the Penguin. I'd be interested. I'm interested. I'm curious where they're going to take the character. Like I said, he has an interesting role in the film, but
Hmm.
it's a smaller role. I'm
Right.
curious how they're going to expand if they will expand it to being a primary villain in the next one.
Well, I mean, I would assume he's gonna have a bigger part in it, because of this series that, they're doing this whole backstory for the Penguin. I don't know who. I don't know anything about this the sequel. I don't know who the villains are going to be. But this series kind of sets him up as a little more of a menace than he was in the first movie, I think.
So, what's next for you?
Well, right now, let's see. Well, hopefully, maybe Avatar will call.
Hopefully.
Maybe somebody watching this one will. Well, hey, wait a minute. We got to call Francois and make sure he's available. But yeah, I mean, for me as an actor, it's not, even though I've been at it for a long time and I know that, the work is going to come. It's not like I've got another bunch of projects lined up from, after I finish this one and I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to go to this one. It's usually after I finish something, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just going to wait until, whatever the next one is going to be. So right now I don't know what that is. I have a bunch of more cons to go to, and I think I think I'm supposed to be doing some video game this summer, but like I say, nothing is 100% sure until until I'm there or until I have that check in my hand.
Well, let me know if you're coming back to Trificon. I'd like to say hi again. So
Yeah, definitely.
please let me know.
Yeah.
Sir, it's been an absolute honor to be with you again. Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Have a fantastic night.
All right, you too.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Divergent Stars podcast. Please help me battle the algorithms by liking and subscribing. Be sure to return for the next episode when Heather Antos boards the mothership to discuss Star Trek at IDW Comics. Until next voyage, travel on.